Welcome to Common Unity. I'm Jason Fox.
And I'm Dr. Gabriel Lewis, and we are bringing the community together with a common unity.
It's recording, so I like to just dive into these things. So, welcome back, Common Unity. I've known this gentleman for probably 3 years now through my wife's B&I group, and as it turns out, he's basically a business partner in Profitable Pathways. He's the accountant or brains behind the operation with his wife, Megan, who's the superstar bookkeeper. So anyway, he's going to work with us. You're going to hear the story of the man behind the genius outside of...
Not about the genius. I
guess I ain't accountant, but yeah. I'm here for the brains.
Often got madness and genius together, so I'm sure there'll be one or the other.
Yeah.
So anyway, welcome Karl Ruby from Mackley.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Yeah. Oh, what a day to be alive.
Well, at least it's fine.
Yeah. The first good day we've got, I've been locked inside all day.
Yeah. It's nice to see the sun.
The good news is I've got a beer beside me, so it feels like summer.
It's like Q-Soul. I was just going to say, it feels like the first summer song you can't play, actually. You really set yourself up for that one, actually.
So, Karl Ruby, where do you come from, mate? Where's home? Where were you born?
So, I'm a very early 70s baby, so I was a 1971's baby. Born in the thriving metropolis of Lower Hutt.
Oh, how good.
So, most people probably associate Lower Hutt with black singlet, shorts and mullets and whatnot, but so born and raised, only child, don't have any brothers or sisters, and...
Is it because you killed them, or...?
I don't know, my dad just hit perfection straight away. Either that, or I'm like, holy shit, I'm not even done that. I'll be rolling that. Yeah,
I personally would have gone the perfection route.
I'm picking number 2 probably. So lived in Upper Hutt. Up until I was about the 10th of January 1989, when I hopped onto a bus and busted my way up to Wairau, where I joined the New Zealand Army. And back then, you could either join the regular army at 17 and a half, or you could go in what they called regular force cadet. So you were in the regular army, but it was like another year at school. So you trained as a soldier, you got fire the guns and throw grenades and blow shit up. And then you still did school studies and stuff like that. We went for a 2-week trip to Rarotonga. Went all over the country to different places and stuff like that. So that was cool. So we did that for a year. And once I graduated that, then I started my apprenticeship as a chef. So I'm a fully qualified chef with London City and Guilds qualifications.
And were you a chef for the army? Or?
Yeah. So I got stuck in Wairau for about 5.5 years, to be honest. I loved it. It was great.
Yeah, I suppose you're there with all your mates, aren't you? So just the boys every night.
Yeah, but hunting, used to do heaps of tramping. We could go out hunting, you have the commandos and all that sort of stuff, just right on your doorstep. Went skiing once in the whole 5 years. Yeah. And typical teenagers, you're up there in the army ski instructors, right, you need to stop here, sort of point your skis together and snow plow. And we were cruising around on the land slope, me and a whole lot of the guys going, it's too easy. So we straight away ignore the advice, straight on the chairlift, up we go, and we get off and we're looking down going, look, that's a good steep. And then one of the guys say, I just remember snow plow. And we're like, that was a complete disaster. So after we all smashed our way back down, we just threw the skis away, we just got rubbish bags and I don't go back again. It didn't appeal to me. So
I could just see a tank driving over the top.
That'd be a lot more fun, I tell you, than ski cruises, And the nice shit thing is you're there and all these kids are like, skiing past and just like, what? It's really getting the concept and we flagged that.
Was it the first time you went skiing?
Yeah, well, it's first time I was done. I'm like, next I was starting to go 4-wheel driving and hunting and stuff. It was really fun.
Bipedal.
Yeah, I was.
Are you saying you actually got quite a bit of free time in the army? Because you kind of envisaged the army as this 80-hour-a-week kind of hard militant routine, but
Yeah, when you're in the training, you've got your life's not your own. So while I was in Moira in 1989, I can tell you when it was partway through the year. Our barracks were right next to the fire station, and all the sirens were out, there's fire trucks, and all hell broke loose. We were going, what's going on? Because we weren't allowed radios, we weren't allowed newspapers. The only news we were told about was what the army wanted to tell us, basically. And that was when the Silver Fern railway train had a head-on crash with another truck or something at the Tamawai crossing out towards Other. We didn't know anything about it. I got back to Mum and Dad's place when I went away on leave about 4 months later. I'm like, oh, how bad was that crash up there? I was like, what crash? I'm like, oh, the train crash. And I went, oh, that must be what the fire trucks were there for that time. But yeah, so it's back then you had nothing, but once you graduated to the regular army, yeah, it's just normal working hours, unless you're in the field.
Don't struggle to do that these days because you've got to have a smartphone.
Oh, yeah.
You'd have to be woke and
you've got to tuck them in. Honey, it's all right. You know, whereas, yeah,
What a time to be in the army.
yeah.
It was, you look at it now, and I left the army when I went to join the police. That progressed the story, but I remember catching up with a mate of mine who was a regulator, like military police officer in the Navy. And I'd been out of the army for about 3 years. And I went up to Philomel, I caught up with him, and all these recruits were in there with water bottles. And I'm like, what, we didn't have those, we wouldn't have water bottles. And then this guy lays up and he gave his card to the PDI and then he just walks off. And I said to mate John, I said, what's going on there? And he goes, oh mate, he goes, we get timeout cards there. I went, what? And he goes, if they feel in source, they can give their instructor a timeout card in 15 minutes, going on a break. Yeah. And I'm sitting there going, wow. So times have changed.
And how long ago was that?
I joined in 89. I left in.
The timeout card.
The timeout cards. That would have been probably about 1999 actually. I think we got Now the recruits
made it sound sweet again.
the recruits are in bed and the instructors are out doing the money.
or you go down there to find your identity but end up losing it.
Yeah, I think it's definitely changed a lot. A lot more flashy gear than we had. But so I did that time in Wairau in the kitchens, but also I was a volunteer fireman there. So I was 4 and a bit years as a volunteer fireman in Wairau, which was a bit of an eye-opener. So in that time, it would have been potentially about 16, 17 fatalities I've attended up on the desert road and stuff.
Yeah.
And we had a couple of incidents out in the army training area with vehicle accidents. So as a young person, you got the old life lessons real quick. Yeah. Although it's fun, you're like, I'm the fireman, and we're doing all this and all that cool stuff. When you actually go to that stark reality of a motor vehicle crash, it's like, well, this is
serious.
We're into the serious stuff. Yeah, so that was a steep learning curve, and they never had the trauma policies or anything like that. So our fire master, his name was Sparks, hard case. So he was like head fireman in Wairau, so his last name was Sparks. No, that was his surname was Sparks, and in the sergeant's mess, he used to always come over and he liked his toast burnt, his bacon crispy, and we all used to have a bit of a laugh about that, just with that sort of thing. But he'd walk in, we'd go to a fatality, and we'd come back and he'd be like, how do you feel? And we'll be sitting here and, all good. He goes, here you go, gear X, you bowl that, and that was it. Yeah. That was your trauma memories,
We'll just pack it down deep inside. And
pretty much, you sack it all away in a bit of a box. But I loved it. It was good. I really enjoyed that. And then my team came up in Wairau, so in that time I'd already decided I wanted to join the police. And back then, to join the police, it was like 3.5, 4 year process. By the time you applied, they did the checks and they made you do God knows how many fitness tests and all that sort of stuff. So I posted back down to Trentham and was working in the messes down there. And did some cool stuff, worked in Government House, we did a lot of the Defence House, all the chiefs of defence staff, catering and stuff like that, so a lot of high-end stuff. So that was really, really good down there. And then I was due for promotion to a sergeant, and they were going to post me back out to Linton. And I'm like, no, I don't get that to Linton. And funny enough, I just got my acceptance to the police. So I left the New Zealand Army on the 23rd of September, 1996, and started it was a Friday, and I started on the Monday at Kiss College. So traded to green, went to blue.
Yeah. How do you find that transition?
For the military guys, it was easy.
Yeah.
Because the police discipline and training structure and
it was quite loose in comparison.
Yeah, not quite as strict, but based on the same lines. Yeah. So the respect you'd have to the higher up, your sergeants, your senior sergeants, inspectors and stuff, that was just natural to us. Whereas people that come from a different walk of life, they make you march around all these people that goon marching. They couldn't quite get the
actions and
I couldn't get the brain to get the hands to do this while the feet are doing that. So a lot of the military guys, and it still happens today, if these military guys in the police wings, they'll often train the others on how to march and do all the drill and stuff, because it's just second nature. It's just bashed into you when you're in the army. So then I posted up by Lower Hutt, and I did 10 years in the police.
Mm-hmm.
So qualified, I went to the CIB, I did about 18 months on the street, and then was asked to move up to the criminal investigation branch, which is the detective side of things, and that's another 2.5 years training to become that. And that was cool. I loved the police. My wife definitely did. My wife at the time didn't love the police.
Yeah.
Just worked all the hours that were given,
but especially being a detective.
Yeah, even in uniform, so Lower Hutt was an incredibly busy station.
Yeah.
Serious crime wise and just workload wise. And I think it was roughly, I think it might have been, don't quote me on the year, but it was around 2000 they brought out the crime stats for serious crime. So that's homicides, rapes, robberies, that sort of thing. And Lower Hutt was second to Otara.
Wow.
Which is not a great accolade that you on Lower Hutt, and when you look at population size, but yeah, it was really bad. We just seem to have a lot more high-end crime.
Yeah.
That's one way to put it. Well, I suppose one way to put it. You look at the scale of an assault, and you look at a murder. It's the gaps.
Yeah.
Quite huge.
Was murder quite a big thing? Because I feel there's a lot more murders that happen in this country than is ever spoken about. As far as media, you hear it on the news, they don't talk about every murder, surely. So
they normally do, because the media like that sort of stuff. So we had
gets the clips.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. We definitely had a few.
Even between the games, though,
we did so much
undetected.
It wasn't so. There's a lot of fighting and stabbings and shootouts and stuff, and just feudal fights with the gangs and stuff. My very first homicide that we came across. So myself and another a female constable, we just moved up from section, and we were out working a crime car. So that's sort of like a crime car. Crime car is a CIB unit. We were only constables and trained at that stage, so we weren't even a detective constable. But we didn't have someone senior we could work with, so we were just out working by ourselves. We were working for what they called the Crime Control Unit, or CCU. And we were out working, and then this job came in for a assault on a taxi driver. And we shot around into Randwick Pleasant, and here's this taxi, ambulance working on this guy, and he had been stabbed multiple times. So that was the very first homicide that Steph and I basically came across. So that was the first one to work on, and they're awesome to work on. You get a big team of guys, and it's just the methodical working through a scene, looking up, and when you're doing the grid searches and the scene examination, anything that you think is potentially possible is gold.
No stone unturned.
No, unfortunately for us in this particular one, we found a driver's license that the murderer decided to leave behind after he robbed the taxi driver. So that made it a little bit easier. But we still had to go through the whole process. There was gang affiliations and gang members who've been accessories and helped hide weapons and stuff. So you have to go through all that sort of process. But when that happens, everyone swings into it, and you might not see your family for a day or two in the initial stages and stuff. But yeah, it was really, really good fun. Tiring, but it's that thrill of the catch.
Adrenaline kicks in and you're like, oh, we're going to get this.
Yeah, and it's not like when you see on the American movies where the detectives work around and go, aha. And they don't take any notes or anything.
Yeah. Well, they have donuts to get to.
Oh, that's right, yeah. And the old Horatio from CSI goes, yes, sir. With his torch, you can almost tell you who's it is.
Yeah.
Nothing like that.
I know that.
So were mullets still a thing when you were in Lower Hutt at this time?
Oh, that's sort of died. Yeah. So to be fair,
Didn't really die out there.
well, right in the board, you see quite a lot of them around, yeah. But yeah, it was a good time in there. Did a lot of stuff. I did a little bit of what they call special duties work, so that's the undercover type stuff. So that was quite cool. You're living on that edge, and you don't have impunity. You're still responsible for everything you do. You got to be really careful. You can't be seen to be what they call an agent provocateur. So, if I'm sitting here and you guys are gang members, I picture you and say, oh, bro, let's go and we'll rob that place and we'll knife him and stuff like that. You can't encourage that, but what you're doing is
you can swing along.
You can't incite them to commit a crime, but if an opportunity can arise that someone of that persuasion will pick up, then you're all right. So it's a real fine line. You've got to be a bit, everything's heavily documented of what you're doing and stuff like that.
Suppose in that situation you don't either want to be found out going, oh hey, let's rob this, no, either. So it's got that fine line because you're like, why not? I thought you were with us.
Yeah, well that's right. It's a real fine balancing act. And I'll tell you what, when you do that sort of work, it teaches you a real fascinating effect. Yeah. Because you have to sometimes. You got to be real quick with, something will happen like, okay, you got to try and.
That's why you start tap dancing at a young age, right?
Yeah, really quick.
They catch me full toes.
But yeah, it did. It taught you to be very resourceful and pretty agile with your thinking. Great experience. Wouldn't do it today.
Yeah.
Like the biggest, we were taught to simulate the cannabis and here we go, bullshit, you can't simulate, but you do because we used to have to, pee in the bag, pee in the jar quite regularly. And if it failed, well, then you've got a bit of answering to do, Obviously, there might be, if you're in a room full of them doing it, you're going to get a little bit of residue, but you couldn't sit there and just sort of wave the stick by and everybody explodes and say that you've. So yeah, they were pretty rigid on that sort of thing. But nowadays, I wouldn't want to do it today with all the meth heads and stuff like that. It'd be a horrible job to be a special duties constable in today's climate.
I have to say, the amount of clients that I've had in the past that have been previously addicted to methamphetamine is considerably high, and a lot higher than you would expect. So,
which is crazy because you look at it as a drug that down and outers essentially might take, but it's a freaking expensive drug. It's actually like business people and corporates and
lots of them, mate.
Yeah, I didn't realise how expensive it was until I asked the question last year. And
I was trying to buy something.
I just assumed it would be cheap.
Yeah.
And boy, was I wrong. My mouth hit the floor when I heard the cost, and then I was like, how?
It's just such a destructive drug as well. It's shocking. I remember an instance we went and we picked up a couple of gang members, and a lot of the people that have got an addiction to it, they call it the picks. And they're real bad paranoia, but this guy was just sitting there and I was talking to him over an incident, and he's like, yeah. And he was just picking his finger but it started to bleed. There's nothing wrong with his finger about it.
Yeah.
Making me you get paranoid about
that real sharp nail.
But yeah, so I wouldn't want to do it now, but it was a really good time.
Yeah.
So I mean,
times changed.
Oh, it has, yeah, and like I said, it was edgy back then because, you know, there is sometimes you were questioned if again, we might bar you up, you're a nut, you're a cop, you know, but no, I'm not. You just have to think real quick and because you're not going to go, fuck, you got that. You know,
Probably back in the station.
I was fucking off laughing about we were all about a high five, you know, you're going to end up in a box somewhere or in a ditch. So yeah, you definitely got to think quick on your feet. And there was always sort of backup situations there was plans in place if you needed it. But I mean, sometimes those plans would take a while to kick in, so you know. But that's right. It's
it would have made you become quite cool, calm, collected under normal situations. Actually,
yeah, not you can't be rattled or look. You know, you've got to. Yeah, it's hard to describe, but you do definitely become a lot more
relaxed in the situation.
Yeah, your mind's doing like, you know, you're trying to be nice and calm on the outside, and your mind's going
like a duck underwater.
Yeah. Going flat out, trying to think, Christ, I'm going to backpedal to get out of this or whatever. And then, what else? Other stuff we do in the place. Just general stuff. So I was a firearms instructor in the place. So teaching recruits to shoot, that was an interesting exercise.
Mm-hmm.
Some of the recruits you'd be quite comfortable standing in front of. Yeah, and we're sitting there, I'm pretty safe standing right here.
Let's just say you wouldn't want to be standing beside them.
Potentially not.
They're the ones that got the shotgun license.
The
carless gun.
It was interesting. But hey, again, to be you can't really blame them because again, and it's like anything, unfortunately with government agencies at the moment, the training's just not sufficient enough, you know. It's, whereas, I know people that are in the ex-New Zealand cops that have even gone to Brisbane, the Gold Coast, and they're not shooting every day. You know? Because they carry every day, there's always that risk. I mean, because New Zealand police carry a lot now, but they still only, my understanding is they started to get like 1 day every 6 months.
Yeah.
Which is a qualification shoot. So if you shoot up, go bang, bang, you hit the target, like, you're ready.
Oh, you mean so in Brisbane they're shooting for practice rather than actually just shooting at
Yeah, a lot of the federal agents in America and stuff, before they're allowed to even go out, they go down and they take 1 or 2 magazines into a target. Mm-hmm. Because it's that constant, repetitive muscle memory thing that if you get into a shootout,
you want to be doing second nature. You don't want to be thinking about shoot now, shoot, and my safety's on.
Yeah, counting rounds and stuff, you know, because the last thing as we used to say to the recruits, the loudest thing you hear is because 1, you're out of ammo, or 2, you haven't put the magazine in properly, it was dropped on the ground and you know.
You're going to find it.
So it's that muscle memory and getting that ready. So that was cool. I enjoyed that. I did that for a bit of time. Won't spend too much time on the police because you can ask some more questions about that. But then from there, I left the police in 205. I moved up here to Tauranga. Been here ever since. Love it. Never go back to Wellington. I go back to visit, but I won't go back to live.
Good place to visit.
This place is great. Yeah, central everywhere, you know, nice and close to everything. My mum and dad just moved up the last couple of years and we went back the other week and Dad goes, no, I'm not going back there. Not going to do that. So I moved up there. I digress. So while I was in the army, getting back to our profitable pathway stuff, there was a lot of great stuff that the army trained you on. So when I was in the army, they gave me all my licenses. They gave me my class 5 and 3L, and then I was just lazy and never converted it. But just 4? Yeah, having 4. But my 3L and 5 I've had for years and years, and then my license is due to come up for renewal soon. So I thought, I better go and convert that to the actual license. So I think it was November last year. I said to Jason, got the full class 5 now. But yeah, so they taught me to drive all the Unimogs, tanks, the 22, 28s. We used to take them on, 22, 28s, never went off-road, but the Unimogs were a fantastic vehicle. You take those fully loaded with a trailer on the back and you just go. Yeah, go bush. It was fantastic.
Like a tractor, essentially. Tractor
pretty much, yeah. They were a great piece of kit. So I've got to credit the Army for giving me my licenses. And I've driven trucks on and off pretty much my whole life. So it's good. They gave me a really good base to do stuff. So I've got my fingers like your other things.
Maybe a bit like me, though. You haven't driven trucks for hire of reward.
No. So I haven't done truck.
A to B.
Yeah. Back and then, do that. But yeah, I haven't worked for one of the big companies or something.
What we're saying is we can drive an eat and 18 speed. We can split a gear. And
that's right, yeah.
That's a rare skill on a truck driver.
Yeah. That's right, we know our shit.
Yeah. I haven't done it for a while, but I reckon it's still good.
A quick brush up and you'll be good to go, eh?
Yeah, right, a couple of cogs off and I'll be away.
Yeah. Get rid of first and second or something like that when you're off. Don't you guys? But yeah, so that was another skill that I learned when I was in the Army. So then I moved to town. I did private investigating for a while. I still do some of that because I've got what they call a certified fraud examiner's qualification, I suppose you'd call it. So in Texas and America is the biggest fraud professional body in the world, basically. You see CFEs all over the world. And you've got to be constantly doing that sort of work. So I still do, when I first came up, I was doing insurance work, ACC work, what other stuff was I doing? I used to do, back in the day, back in 2005, immigration used to contract a bit of work out, so we'd go and do a lot of immigration work, then commercial investigation, so that was good. So I did that for about 18 months. And then ended up working for IRD. Mm-hmm. So I went to work for IRD and they were good enough to turn around, and obviously my police background was a big, I suppose, draw card for them because they wanted to get your investigation arm up. So went to work for the dreaded taxman. They were good enough to turn around and go, do you want to do a bit of university study? Mm-hmm. I'm like, yeah, and what? And my boss was like, why don't you do your accountancy degree?
Of course.
And I was a chef in the Army, hated economics when I was at college, and I'm like, why not? Let's give it a go. So I did that part-time study.
Was it really a choice though?
I could have gone without it.
No, I mean, could you go to uni to any other study other than accountancy working for IRD?
Yeah, I could have probably gone to war or something like that.
Yeah, true.
I couldn't go and defend. After being in the police, I couldn't go and defend criminals. I'd be the worst defence lawyer in the world.
Yeah.
You just say that's something he's guilty as sit on. No one would ever come to
right. Hey, George, haven't seen you in a few weeks.
Yeah. I'll be
Sandra. How'd you go?
Yeah. Take him down. Yeah, I'll be hopeless as a lawyer. So I could have done something else, but so I did that. And my work at IRD was in the evasion space, so fraud and evasion. So that's people that are intentionally not wanting to pay tax, or they'll set up schemes to intentionally not pay tax. And there's some genius people that think of these scams that actually put their mind into good work. They can actually make some really good money, and a lot of the we work a lot in the agricultural space around here and kiwifruit and stuff. And a lot of the guys that we prosecuted and they went to jail, if they actually did everything correctly, paid the right taxes, that they would have been in a better off position than they were trying to cheat the system. Because by the time we took their houses and cars and they did a couple of years inside, they came out with nothing. But if they'd actually done things right and paid the right taxes, they'd have still had their houses and their freedom and
so, everything to go along with it.
Yeah, but they just thought that it was a way of short-circuiting the system so they could
short-term gain, long-term pain. They talk about criminals and the money they earn. Yeah, they might earn 15 grand on one job, but then they earn nothing again for 12 months. They just went and got a part-time job that earns the same money and never have to go inside or risk their life.
That's exactly it. And some of the schemes that they came up with was quite elaborate, and a lot of people forget that the taxman's got big and varying powers. I used to say when I first started at IRD, my God, I wish we had the reach that IRD have in the police, because you'd solve so much more crime. You know, but the laws changed a little bit. But when I was working for IRD, we had a little warrant card, and I could go into anywhere except your private house. So I could search your car on the street. I could go to any business. I could go anywhere I wanted and demand documents and stuff like that, and you could not bring them to me.
Would you need a police officer with you though? Because if you came up to me and said, "I'm from the ID," I'd laugh at you. So you're not looking at me, brother.
You're laughing at me until we started taking money directly out of your bank account, then you probably wouldn't laugh.
Yeah. But if someone comes and knocks on the windows who came out from the IOD, shows what you got on the boat, you just go, what? Where's that come from?
Oh,
I've never heard of that happening, right?
No, it didn't happen, but that's what the legislation allowed. But it was good in the respect of, for us, you know, especially if we had a fluid job, you could race to the bank and go, right, what's in this bank account number?
Yeah.
And they've got to comply with it, and you can get all the details and stuff. So it worked really, really well. Whereas the police had to go through search warrants, production orders, and it's but obviously, hey, the government want their money, so they got to give the
can't hide from tax.
Yeah, that's right. Was it 2 cent things there for the taxes?
Yeah.
But it did make the job a lot easier, and we had some pretty good success with that. We actually got a lot of the legislation changed around the agricultural contractors as well, in regards to filing or withholding tax and stuff like that, because there's so many different businesses out there that no one knew happened, you know. So that was quite good. So that's how I became an accountant through IRD. So I was at IRD. Well, I met my wife, Megan, in IRD. She was an investigator over in Rotorua. And
do you like crime scene novels and detective scenes?
I don't want to watch the old TV shows, some of the TV shows and that.
I mean, together, like the...
Oh, you know, we watched FBI and all those sort of shows. I don't mind those, but yeah, I'm not I used to be a big book reader, but not so much. Yeah.
The Jared Savage book, Gaining Lead Set's interesting because it goes through everything you're pretty much talking about.
Yeah.
That's like a how-to begin up-and-coming money laundering book.
Yeah.
Like if you want to know where to start, just read that. It's like, this is how it happens, but also shows you that they know what you're up to and you will get caught. But
yeah. Oh, that's the thing. It's a matter of time to when you get, you know. But hey, there's a lot of smart guys out there. I've met a lot of smart crims in my time, and the smart ones are normally the ones that don't come to the attention. You know.
Were you the one telling me about a place in Rotorua that was selling a certain type of skin from a factory? Are you allowed to talk about that? Or?
Yeah, so that was from the IRD thing. So what they do is, there was the alpacas and stuff, that I was talking about.
Fox furs or something?
Fox food, yeah. So we did a bit of work on inbound Chinese tour operators and stuff like that. And there was a lot of media around it, how some government officials go, oh, we're making all this money from Chinese inbound tour operators and stuff. And there was other government officials going, no, we're not making anything. And we went to a couple of factories and over in Rotorua, and they've got all these adverts, and there's these guys standing and things going, oh, look at this fox fur from high up in the Southern Alps in New Zealand, fox, blah, 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 all this sort of stuff. We're like, we don't have foxes in New Zealand and stuff. And then there's another machine where they've got big bales of Peruvian alpaca skins, and they go through this machine when the Chinese tourists come in. Oh, look, you know, there's a guy standing in a white jacket, this is the government official, these are all certified, and then they come back out in the machine with the Peruvian label off, and there's New Zealand, you know. There's these big graphics with Mount Ruapehu in the background, with these big lush pastures going right up to the snow line, all these alpacas prancing around up on it's just unreal. Yeah, they were next level. They were terrible with their own citizens, you know. And a lot of that money we never touched New Zealand soil. They would just disappear straight back to China. Yeah, so yeah, there was a lot of stuff like that. It's and I used to have a lot of programs around that sort of thing. But oh god, it was an eye opener with how people, that's what I was saying before, if people apply that to just legit business,
like buying and selling real estate or
they would make a
just make a
fortune.
subdivision. No.
Yeah, it was unreal. It was a bit of a life, you turn over pages and stuff and you're like, what's this? And there's just all this stuff that just didn't make sense. And then you start backtracking it and you're like, oh, so that's how it works. And then you might get someone that wants to sort of talk a little bit about what the boss does, and then you build this big picture, and all of a sudden you're like, holy crap, this is bigger than we heard,
Yeah.
So right from the time the people leave China, that whole tour is planned, and they know exactly where they're going to, So they'll be selling
basically everything on every stop, and it all goes straight back to where they need to.
But they would be, we had a person that was telling us, who was a tour guide, and they would be told to make sure, so they'd charge some of the people to go to the Redwoods and Rotorua, they'd charge them a fee to go there. They would bring them direct from Auckland by a bus, and they'd drive them around the outskirts of Rotorua, Vegas, put them into a motel. You can't leave the motel without us because the locals will stab you and rob you, and this sort of stuff just gets. And then they shuffle them into the shops with all the white paper windows.
That's pretty much how we get through if we go to Mexico or something, man.
I mean,
That's the whole fear. Like, don't go there, you're going to get shot up in the streets. And obviously there is that side of it. But that's the fear. But then anyone you hear that went there, that looked a bit shady, but man, the resorts are beautiful and this, that.
I love it.
Yeah. But it's it was a big eye-opener, that's for sure, working for IRD. And then we got a bit tired of the politics. I've been in public service for 30 odd years.
Yeah.
So I was like, it's time to
Change.
And then I met, Megan and I met David Wayne, who's the head of Matlin. He asked if we wanted to run the tower office, and the rest is history, really.
So what year was that?
That would have been 2016, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be right, because I was diagnosed with cancer in 2017. Yes, 2016. So that's another little thing.
Yeah, said that for the story.
Yeah, I'm just throwing that in front of the But so met David. So Megan and I run the Matley office over here since then. And we've got a good client base, and I really enjoy it. It was definitely a big learning curve coming from a regulatory function
to loose.
Yeah, and it was.
How do we avoid it rather than how do we get maximised probably?
Yeah, that's the thing. It was it was a bit of a shift, to be fair. I'm taking a long time to get to the grips of it.
Actually, considering that from your background and being with IRD, I know it seems it might not be something that you kind of want to be saying, but
Probably get up while we walk down the street.
no, but are you more of a conservative type of accountant, or do you use the rules to your full potential?
No, the whole Matley ethos is we're a progressive firm, and we will. The way we deal with a lot of things is obviously we're chartered accountants, so we have to abide by the tax legislation and that, but it's coming down to what interpretations.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll make sure that, it's the old adage I used to say to people is like law's like a rubber band. You can push it to a certain extent, but when it snaps, that's when you cross the line and you can't come back from it. So we'll try to make sure that the boundaries are pushed to maximise or to be as efficient as we can for the tax liability of our clients and stuff. We definitely won't go down the shady route, because without that, we'd be absolutely hung for a start. But no, we're definitely not. We are progressive, and we look at different things out of the box.
Well, it's just the main thing. Like if you're a small business owner, you need that as well to making sure you're using the rules. If you're kind of doing it yourself, I know for a fact, I know my accountant will do better things than just me doing it myself. And all that. We thought of this.
Yeah, that's right. It's about how you structure things, and again, you've got to be careful with structures. You hear some quite complex structures, but IAD have got rules to deal with that. So if you you might hear someone say, oh, my lawyer and my accountant came up with this, and there's about 15 different entities before you get to the revenue making money. You're like, well, that's just really complex, and probably the accountant and the lawyer's making a ton of money to implement that. But if I look at them, there's a thing called BG1, which is the anti-avoidance rules. So if they say, well, you've only done that to avoid the assessment of tax, they can use BG1 and remove it all.
Mm-hmm.
So you're back to square one, but you've got all that extra cost. So it's about being smart.
Makes it hard for finance to tell you, like, okay, well, who's on board with that? Who's a trustee in that?
And especially all the AML stuff now.
Yeah, the aim of Karl and some companies that have 3 different trustees, So now for all their lawyers or their accountants, 4 AML from all of you.
Yeah.
Plus the directors.
Yeah, so the AML stuff's been a big change on how easy it is for, to implement all these really big, complex structures, and people have circular transactions, and it all looks good, but it's just smoke and mirrors, Sometimes simple is best.
Yeah.
I remember working at IAD, you go through stuff, and it was, you'd ask the accountant to explain what the purpose behind this and this and this is. This why I'm trusting that, and the accountant's like, give me a minute. He was trying to work out how and why they set it up that way, So yeah, but no, we definitely not. We definitely we're progressive. We've had clients come up to us and go, we want to pay the minimum tax you can, and it's like, dude, face facts, you've got to pay it.
Mm-hmm. This is the issue though. People in business credit the Keeping the Change podcast. They talk about it quite a lot. Is everyone comes to their accountant and says, how can I pay as little tax as possible, rather than how can I increase my revenue?
Yeah, that's right.
Revenue fixes everything.
Yeah.
Let's remove a scarcity mindset and say, I need to not pay the OID, or I'm going to cut my staff's hours back, to how can I drive more on the top, so it just sorts everything out in the bottom.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. And if you can increase your revenue by 25-30%,
the rest is irrelevant.
Who cares how much tax you're paying? It's not. And we don't get the services that we currently have in the country. Mind you, all the truckies out there, roads are pretty terrible. My youth was bouncing down to me drive this morning.
Well, that's it. I pay probably close to $10 between my wife and my car to go down the toll road every day.
Yeah.
But it fucked a tire and cost me $1,000 going into Christmas.
Yeah.
So on top of the probably $1,000 or so I pay in a year, I've also had to pay $1,000 on tyres because they haven't maintained the road that I pay to drive on every day on top of my taxes.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, the roads are terrible. I've got to about that. Absolutely bloody shocking,
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely terrible.
Yeah, one thing I find I wish I learned starting business was tax education a lot sooner. Like, you have to obviously find a few lessons and bits and pieces, but really understanding it more to the entirety, because when you think about it, you don't really need this little financial literacy.
No. And we are, I think financial literacy wise, we're really, really bad in New Zealand,
I'd say it's a global issue.
Yeah, it probably is. You do right, and it's
probably on purpose. But
yeah, we've spoken about that before, isn't it? Government was created. They needed workers, so schools were created to make workers. To this day, pull your socks up, tuck your uniform in. Fuck mate, look at me, I'm wearing a t-shirt and some sneakers. I wouldn't be able to walk around school like this, but I'm still properly dressed well.
Yeah.
But this is what business looks like in this day and age. So I sat in our mentorship, actually mentorship that we had today. We had 18 people in the class straight up. I think not one person had dress shoes on.
Yeah.
Maybe one person had dress shoes. Everyone had sneakers on.
Yeah.
And that was completely unacceptable a few years ago. Now there's the thing, but schools still black shoes, polished them. Because what are they doing? They're creating workers so you can work for the man.
Yeah.
And we need you to get used to earning $1,000 a week so you can continuously need to show up every other week. Because if you get financial freedom, you have no need for us.
Yeah. Yeah, and we are. I mean, you've just got to look at it with, there's people bashing on about, we need minimum wage to go up, It's like businesses can't sustain that any longer, and they don't get it. They moan minimum wage goes up, like, yes, we're going to pay rise. Why am I paying $10 for a pie now?
Well,
hold on. You know, the farmer's got to pay his staff, then you've got the trucking companies have to pay their staff, then you've got the flour mill, then you've got the baker, then you've got the delivery guy, then you've got the shop. Everyone's clipping the tickets.
now you think about the amount that diesel's gone up with regards to delivery costs.
Yeah.
You go through and that's everything.
Yeah. But people don't see it that way, hey? They just see what's in their pocket. They don't actually, and that's the issue that I have with, I think, financial literacy across the community is they're thinking about what's in their hand. They don't see the bigger picture that if this raises, well, that's just a natural cost that's, everything has to go up.
One thing I was
just going to say, with going back to the minimum wage type thing, you're on $18, someone's been in that job for 3 years, might be on $21, but we raise it to $21, and that guy's now on the same money, so that's got to move right.
Yeah.
So that's a flow-on effect right throughout the company, not just the minimum wage. However, that minimum wage issue, if you've got 100 staff, say you're a bigger company, and you raise that wage, that might mean you've got to lay off 7 people.
Yeah.
But no one ever sees that, actually, now we've got to lay off a lazy 7.
Yeah.
Because their revenue doesn't change just because minimum wage changes.
Yeah.
Unless they have to get it up, but it's a slow process to get it up. So the initial thing is, well, maybe we need some redundancies.
Yeah.
So are you better off having $18 an hour or having no job at all?
Well, that's actually just what happened to one of my clients. He's got a very successful company here. However, he was getting very frustrated with some staff and laid off 5 that were completely dragging the chain, and he's noticed he was like, we were more productive
with less. Yeah.
And he made the call. He was like, no, actually, no. You're draining my energy. I don't even want to do this anymore if this keeps continuing. And because the problem as well, because of I think some people have actually taken the whole COVID kind of lockdown and the COVID's sick and I'm sick and all these things to push it. Obviously, people always will push.
Yeah.
But it's the amount of business owners that I talk to that are completely under the strain and feel very hopeless with staffing issues is a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you've experienced it too.
Oh, we've got clients who just, they ring up and go, what are we going to do? It's like, I just had a meeting with a client today and they've realised, shipping costs, US currency, fluctuations and stuff is just killing their bottom line. So potentially there's a few staff that are going to go, they'll work more in the business, they'll take a cut in what they're going to take out of the business because they want to keep it going. So the staff they've got there, one, they need to pay their bills, but 2, they want to have a business because they want the freedom of being self-employed, and they want to keep staff, but they can't,
Yeah. Robin had a good quote today, business or busyness.
Yeah.
A lot of people get into their business and they're just flat out busy all the time because they can't get to the point where they can pull away. But if you start laying off staff and you're having to come back and fill those roles, you get caught as well. And then there is a real move to actually just paying, I'll pay someone $35 an hour if they're fantastic because you find that person at $35 an hour can do what 3 people at 20 do. But you need to find those right people and bring them into the company.
That's what I've done. I've got a fantastic team, and I was driving down the street. This was when my ute cost $88 religiously to fill per week.
Yeah, it's like 140.
And the highest it got to was 198. So, and I was thinking, I was doing the maths for my team, and I was like, well, then I was doing it for every single person on the team, and I was like, well, if I can absorb this hit, very challenging. I know they don't have to drive as far, but it's in everything. So I was like, you know what? I don't want my team actually ever thinking I need to actually look elsewhere. I love this job. I love working where I am, but I don't want to work elsewhere in order to actually be able to afford to live. So I basically took that question out of their head so they didn't even get to that point. And already at that point, before our last pay was already higher than every other professional in the same industry. But I was like, no, let's just do this. And I'm so glad because it costs me more energy and financially if I have to constantly try and find the right person.
Yeah, all that retraining and everything, when you're cycling through staff, it's just burden on the business, and the productivity is just gone.
Yeah,
So you're constantly retraining.
so it might look like I'm spending way more here, but it's really saving me as well. Plus, everybody's feeling like they're valued.
Yeah. And if you get that productivity, that's what you want. You know?
No, we've got an incredibly efficient team.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And they work together.
Yeah.
No drama.
Yeah, it makes a big difference, But yeah, I do worry about the financial literacy because, like you're saying, Jason, we've got a few clients and just people will come in just have a general chit chat and they're like, my current accountant won't help me pay as little tax as you want. And it's that same question. It's like, why are you obsessed with paying the least tax? Just get the business humming and then who cares? And we've got to that point now where we get clients that come in that have religiously sort of always gone, the GST bill's a bit big. It's like, forget the GST, that's not yours. Once you issue an invoice, if there's $300 GST on that, they pay it, throw that in the bank account, forget it. That's the government's money.
It's hard though. I get it, especially throughout COVID. I'm going through everything and keeping everyone running.
Yeah.
And you keep, especially when you top up all their staff because you've got 50% of their wages, or you keep all your staff on, so you depleted all your cash flow, and then you actually went through quite a boom period. But inflation was happening, everything else, and you never actually built your cash flow back out. And then tax bill comes around, you're like, okay, now you're due 100 grand or 200 grand, it's where the profit.
Yeah.
It was depleted.
Yeah.
To those listening, you can ring the ID and they will help you out with plans or this tax pooling. Do I explain tax pooling? Because I don't think many people actually know tax pooling is a thing.
So tax pooling is quite a good system. So a group of accountants, I think it might have been one of the big four that they got together. So what they do is people sell their tax refunds and stuff to this tax pooling or loan them the tax pooling money. And when they get the refunds, they might have certain dates and stuff like that on them. And what I do, when you make a payment to IRD, it's the processing date. It's the date that you pay it. So that's the date that money's available to be used. So if let's say you paid, I'm just trying to think of a good example. But basically what it does is people then give this money to the tax pooling agency. That was a big pool of funds or refunds sitting there. And what they do is you might come along and say, hey, Carl, I need to tax pool my January 23 provisional tax payment. So we'll get in touch with whatever. There's a couple of different lenders out there or tax pooling agencies out there. So we'll go to them and say, right, we've got a client that's got $5,000 provisional tax for January 23 that needs to be paid. And can you give us a quote? So I'll see back a quote and say, right, well, we can pay the 2023 provisional tax and they've got a service fee. So they'll work out what the interest and the penalties that IRD would normally charge you for. And when they send out the quote, it will have this much is the payment, this is how much you want to tax pool. This is our service fee, but this is how much you're saving. So let's say you might be saving $900 and their fee might be $150. So if you add that on, you're only going to be saving $700 or whatever. But it's still saving you money. The beauty of it is if you did that for January 23, it doesn't mature until around about the 16th of June. So as long as you've paid them the full amount before the 16th of June, so you paid in that initial fee to effectively reserve that tax pooling. Then you have to settle that $5,000 that you should have paid IRD back in January by the settlement date. Once they've got those funds, they then go, woof, send off the money to IRD. That's as at the date it was due. So any interest and penalties that are built up automatically get wiped and you're done.
Yeah. So
tax pooling is a really, really good thing, and if people do need it, they should approach their accountant for it, because there's a lot of people that do, especially like in the construction trades or even the transport industry, really, over that Christmas, January period, you sort of struggle to make any income because everyone's on holiday. And if you think about it, you've got your 5th of January provisional tax payment, if you're standing for provisional tax. Then we've got terminal tax, which is either the 7th of February or the 7th of April, just depending on where it falls with IRD. And then you've got your final provisional tax payment, which is the 5th of May one. So the first 5 months, you've got 3 tax payments. You know, in the portion of the year where you really only sort of come back to work end of January, you're just starting to ramp up, but you've got to find all that money.
Yeah, short months.
Yeah.
All the rest of it.
So it does really put a struggle on. So that's where tax forward is really, really good. Or there's another system that I came out with a couple of years ago called the accounting income method, which aligns with your GST period. So it's like PAYE for your company. And you just pay the tax as you go, so it takes you down that provisional tax. So there's all sorts of different processes, but the tax porting is a good one that not many people know about. But if you're listening and you do have issues with your provisional tax or your terminal tax, speak to your accountant because you may be able to tax for it. And you know, if you're talking big sums, the interest and penalties that IRD will charge you are huge.
Yeah.
So it definitely is worth looking at doing the tax for.
Yeah.
So
one thing I've had one issue with, and like say for example in Australia, this is just one little grizzle with how the current taxation system's set up. So if I'm drinking a beer or something, I'd expect to have GST. But in Australia, my own personal skills that I've gone to uni, got a student loan for, which I'm paying, in order to earn those skills. Now in New Zealand, I'm being personally GST'd for my own skills with my hand. I'm not like a product and service. I do have an issue with that morally, personally, because I'm like, they're still different. Because I can understand it. If it's a product on the shelf that I stock, that it's a trade, it comes in the country and stuff, and it's a product, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. That's the trade thing, GST on that.
Yeah.
Am I an Apple? No.
I suppose you fall under the service to that.
That's the service, that's the catch, but in Australia it's not.
Yeah.
You can understand why a lot of people are going over the ditch for certain aspects, but and that's my only qualm.
Too many freaking crawlies out there for me, eh?
If you don't want to pay GST, you go come into finance, mate. Because we are the only ones that are GST exempt.
Seriously?
Yeah, I'm GST exempt.
Seriously?
Yeah.
On financial transactions and stuff like that.
Because there's no interest there's no GST on interest. So if you draw a loan, we pay it on a percentage of the interest. You're not paying GST on that interest, therefore they can't charge us for it.
Oh, wow.
But it causes untold headaches for accountants. And same with life.
I don't think it does unless you're running both. Like if you've got a GST portion to your business.
Yeah.
So Fox Asset Finance is 100% GST exempt.
Yeah.
Profitable pathways is 100% GST covered, and they don't cross.
Yeah. But like the life insurance guys that sell life insurance and stuff like that, some of them there is GST and some of them are not yet. Or accountants not yet. That's what we do.
So their goal in life is that they claim GST on everything but pay no interest, no GST on all the income.
Yeah, we had a couple of clients that were like that, and we said to them, it's going to be apportioned out. And they weren't happy about that, but they understood why it had to be.
Yeah, it's got to be hard when you go into marketing and stuff though. Like, all right, I'm spending $100,000 on advertising a year. But maybe only 10% of that is actually the GST exclusive. But how do you prove that?
We used to work it out based on the percentage of what their GST exempt income was compared to their.
Yeah.
So there's ways of working
the
it out.
advertising might not actually swing in their favour.
No, but it's I actually really enjoy the job. Like honestly,
you can tell.
If you really ask Sim,
it's a special kind of person that enjoys accounting.
my wife really, she loves it as well. Like, we actually genuinely enjoy helping our clients.
It's not numbers, you're helping people.
Yeah, and we've got clients that we go there plus for barbecues and stuff like that. You know, it's just really, really good having that connection, and that's why we don't want to be one of these firms that have got 400 staff because we like that personal contact. I might get to the point where we had a couple of other staff that will do the day-to-day grind, I still want that contact with the clients.
You have to be the advisor.
Yeah.
Carl and I are both very similar in the fact that we see our time better spent having these conversations around how we can get you more profitable and all the rest of it, rather than just
through the numbers.
Yeah, just sitting on a computer and punching. So it's funny because I'm not an accountant. I've fallen into finance and I found a hole in kind of going into an accountancy type role, profitable pathways.
Yeah.
Never see myself as a teacher, and I was sitting there today at our action membership class like we're teachers.
Yeah.
They're in front of a classroom teaching other businesses. Yeah. It all comes from the consultancy, and it's coming from a passion of trying to help other people.
Yeah.
And we all want to succeed together. We want to see the best for everyone's outcome, because people go into business to provide for themselves and others. And it's a lot more when you bring on staff than just putting food on the table for yourself and your family. You've got multiple families.
You're looking after you.
Yeah. And without small business in New Zealand, there's not much of a country.
No, that's right. Small, medium businesses
run
New Zealand. Yeah.
And this is one thing that I don't understand as well. With certain laws and situations, and say, for example, the whole certain laws and situations do not make it easy for a middle-sized New Zealand business. It's not big business that does it. So, for example, Apple in New Zealand, they pay no tax.
Yeah.
So I don't see how, and how many people have Apple products. So you go through, but that's supporting big business that's not even in New Zealand. But then you go through and you're like, the New Zealanders run basically the majority of the employers are small to mid-size.
Yeah, SMEs, if it wasn't for them, like Jason said, we wouldn't really have much in the country. We all want to benefit.
Yeah.
And there wouldn't be enough taxes coming into.
But I don't understand why they're not looked after more as an employer as well.
I don't know. I don't want to get into politics, but
I think the answer actually would be there, but
it does. And to be fair, there's bound to be Labour supporters that won't like me saying this, but I think this government is anti-business.
Yeah.
Because they make it very, very, very hard for small businesses to operate.
They always are, because they're about just handing out money to someone who doesn't want to do nothing. And I understand there are some people that are in situations.
Genuine need. There's genuine need, people that need assistance, but
we've also got fifth generation working families now in this country.
Yeah.
Been here since day dot, but still go, no, we don't need to do anything. You still owe us, or whatever it might be.
It always makes me cringe when they go, it's payday tomorrow. Well, you get paid when you work.
Yeah.
But I'm really
That's what I'm trying to tell my son, who's on 18 and on youth rates, so he's only on 18 and not to listen to him full 20 but minimum wage. I'm like, you earned more money than me in the last 2 weeks. And so, what? Yeah, you earn way more than me, mate. Because, business is cyclical and ups and downs and all the rest of it. Like, the income's starting to come down, but I didn't have that. I don't have that $300, whatever you had, $400 come to my account last week. But
one time for one of my mates, I actually got into his son. He was like, "Do you have any work for my son?" I was like, "Yeah, come do some stuff." And I was paying him this particular amount. That day he got $200. He was after his dad to buy a bike for him. Yeah. And I was like, this is going to be another 25 days worth of work.
Yeah, that's
and then he dropped the bike. He didn't want it anymore.
And this is a good conversation for people that think they don't need insurance too. Okay, let's drive our $1,000 car down the road. It doesn't matter if it gets damaged, but I crash into a $100,000 car.
Yeah, you're paying for it, really.
Yeah, cool. You earn $30,000 or $20,000 if you're in part-time job, maybe. You only net $20,000 a year. You're going to work your ass off for 5 years without eating, drinking, doing nothing.
It's a mortgage.
Yeah. 3 years of paying off that car.
You could have just saved it yourself.
Even if you get paid $450, you won't like anything for yours, but at least whoever you smash into is covered. And you're not sitting down, shit.
Well, imagine if it's a Ferrari, which some people do.
We had someone backed into my RS4, and I was driving it just before Christmas. Girl driving on a learner's license with no one owned a car, backed into my car. And luckily, didn't really do any damage. I said to her, like, pay for the groom, I won't claim insurance, and we won't have to go any further with it. She didn't respond to anything. And I ended up just getting it groomed and leaving it. But, she was lucky. Because it could have easily been a $3,000 or $4,000 bill.
Oh, for sure, yes.
The bumper got re-sprayed or something like that. And
I mean, if she'd hit it hard enough and it tweaked the chassis, it would have been alright.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's why it's tweaks. Yeah. So, insurance.
I'm very grateful for my insurance.
We'll talk about it off here. I'm looking at that scratch on the arm.
I keep telling my wife she needs to start calling me Dr. Wolverine. You know how Wolverine has some bad accidents?
Yeah.
He just walks out of it and heals real quickly. Nobody knows how. I've had a few instances, and it's quite interesting. And then I had further proof of something quite interesting. Well, I'll just share it because I don't mind. But I had to get a CT scan recently, and the doctor came in and was like, "You've broken your neck." I was like, "No." And I was like, "No." Well, you've got a Jefferson's fracture an old Jefferson's fracture of your C1. Now, a Jefferson's fracture is when you've broken this top vertebra front and back the whole time. So you should be wearing a halo.
Yeah.
One of those halos with rods that go into the shoulder.
Yeah.
I had an old Jefferson's fracture that I had, but I do have a high pain tolerance, but I don't think I was like nothing it through to a point of view where it was too much. But yeah, found out I had an old C1 fracture. I'm very lucky to be here chatting to you.
So that's probably jiu-jitsu, you think? Or?
No, I had a bad snowboarding accident.
See, that's why
That's snowboarding too?
Yeah, big bad snowboarding accident.
Wolverine.
that's why I'm going to see you here.
I had a mate of a lot of mates that were professionally, like sponsored riders, and I used to just ride with them, and I was just stupid, and by the end of the day, there was this big jump we were doing, and some people were kind of just going up and pulling out the last minute, and by the end of the day, it had a really nasty kick, and I got it really wrong, and it went really wrong really quickly, but the lucky one thing that was very fortunate while I was in there, I was like, really screwed here. So I just went all relaxed.
Yeah.
So I just
ragdolled
it. So it's probably the thing that saved my life rather than panicking while I was in the air. So I was like, I'm really screwed. That wasn't my words in my head. I'm effed.
Yeah.
And then I just ragdolled. But even from that accident, I got up straight away and whoa. And then I knew it was bad because the snow just turned to a white sheet, and then was knocked out with concussion. But same thing, got up straight away and just keep having these big horrific injuries. And so Dr. Wolverine.
And when we call it snowboarding in New Zealand, because I've got playing 10 screws in my wrist from snowboarding. I like to call it ice boarding from now on, especially in the North Island. Yeah, so it's just like ice. I've sold my snowboard, I've got my clothes, my goggles and stuff. I'm like, if I ended up in Canada or Japan, I could take their gear over there. I'm probably not going to piss around with it here in New Zealand.
South Island.
But mountain's gone broke anyway, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. It's a
no more chateau. What a fucking surprise.
Apparently, it's been pretty run down though. From my understanding, whoever's owned it hasn't really done maintenance or upkeep. So
that's something not surprised, but it's a big old haunted house, really. But bit of a shame because it is a big old beautiful place.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. What did they did? Was it the mayor of Central Paddo, or whoever the hell they call it up there? He did say that he's got a few interested parties that might want to try and get it up and running, but from everything that I've heard, it's going to cost tens of millions to get it earthquake strengthened and straightened up.
What about this is completely irrelevant to the podcast, but the whole mountain, like the chairlifts, everything's down under, do they have receivership or liquidation? Or? because I don't listen to the news ever since fucking Jacinda ruined our country. I don't listen to any bullshit that they fucking put on TV, so I don't give a shit what's happening because I don't really think they're saying anymore.
Somebody, what's his name? Is it Nash? The dude from
He sounds like a mob too.
He, I think he said that the government was going to throw in so much. They were trying to do something with it.
All right, well, on to the next topic.
If you guys want to hear a joke, I think it's kind of funny actually. You know, I've got a pretty dry sense of humor. Actually,
I'm holding on to it.
Actually, I came up with a joke actually about the way I'm going off board. My jokes are so dry they have no moisture.
His friends got me moisture.
And then I skipped it up a notch again. My jokes are so dry they've got no precipitation. Okay, well, I'll tell you the other thing.
Anyone wants to be a podcast?
There's a vacancy.
No, you made that fun. You're half spoken.
I came with the broadcast. You actually did this.
You can't find me. So one thing I did find funny was Bill Gates. Okay, I'm sure he will be going 2 + 2 = 4. Okay, well the Gates Foundation is funding this woke education that arguing that 2 + 2 could equal 5. I did find it quite amusing. That's what I'll say.
That's why I drink.
Oh,
I'm trying to be a healthy vegan and do my push-ups and the stupidity on earth at the moment. You got to numb it somehow.
I was reading the person the other week. We were talking about. I mentioned woke, and she's like, "No, it's not woke. It's perpetually offended." And I'm like, "I like that." Perpetually offended about anything.
I used to call it. Sorry, I'm not up to date with 2022.
Yeah,
but I've just changed it to 2023.
Oh, it does your head in. It's just that's infuriating sometimes.
There's a real kickback, of course, but you might not know who Andrew Tate is, but a lot of people do. Well, it was the most beautiful man on earth mid last year, and he's been in jail because he's been talking about the Matrix, and he may well be sex trafficking people. However, I don't think anyone who sex trafficked people would put himself in the limelight to tens of millions, if not hundreds of millions of people.
And plus, two of the people that they were using as examples have actually gone up on news and saying, no, that is not the case. So I don't want to talk about this that stuff, but it's like when you're kind of standing up to kind of say, which against anything. And if you actually read the long form, you're 100% correct.
Yes. All he's done is gone, hey, actually, it's this whole women want equal rights. And he's actually really right in a lot of it. It's like, cool, you want equal rights. There's a war going on in Russia and stuff at the moment. And what's the other country?
Ukraine.
Yeah, that's it, thank you. All the women in Ukraine feel the borders, but the men are there fighting for the families.
Yeah.
Well, if you want equal rights, women should be there too. But where does that land? And so he's been speaking of this, and he said, they'll come and arrest me, and someone will try and kill me. He's been arrested and he's been locked up for a month. Wow. And his brother.
Yeah.
He outright said, don't come for me. Yeah. In the areas. And now I was talking to my wife about that. I was like, if you were going to arrest someone and try and discredit them, what's the worst thing you could probably claim them out? Sex trafficking?
Yeah. You were pedophiles and all that.
Yeah. Bang. Yeah. What's it gone down for?
But one thing and this is getting massively on topic, but I'm like, where's Epstein's list? As an investigator, okay, if you happen to get somebody, if you went onto a computer and somebody has a huge file of child images, okay, and you happen to have all the email addresses, wouldn't you figure out where they're going to and who they are and then investigate them as an investigator?
That's normally what they do.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
That's normally what they do. It's like DIA and they do here.
Unless they don't want those people to be known.
Because they're too powerful, because they give to the government organisations. They pay for the parties' campaigns.
Yes, that's
Which we don't have that corruptness in NZ.
No.
That we're aware of. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah.
Sure,
Politics is.
back to Karl Ruby.
So you got
That's right. It's going on. It's
I don't follow that with the investigation.
No,
Yeah.
we got to verify with the man with coffees on. So.
I thought all the avocados, I thought coffees is probably.
Omega-3 is good.
That's right.
I just watched on American like my feet again.
These books, like,
No, my wife will leave me.
oh, jeez. Mine wants to. Nah,
I just bought a pair of Crocs actually. They're the most comfortable shoes I've bought for a long time.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, Crocs.
yeah.
I've been a huge proponent of Crocs for the last 7 years.
Yeah, well, I've always sort of been a bit of against them, and then my friend and I tried one, we're like, oh shit, these are actually quite good.
It's quite funny.
Yeah.
I've got a lifestyle property, and when other people actually move to the lifestyle property, my present to them
It's
is
got-
a pair of Crocs, and then they end up living in them.
Oh, mate.
Yeah, one of my mates got the Legion, started wearing them. I've been giving him shit, and my son started wearing them. Then I went fishing with one of my mates. I'll name him, Ian Morris. And he's like, oh, Katie got me some Crocs for Christmas, but they're hunting. They're real comfortable though. When I'm hunting, I can like cross the river and my feet will dry because they'll dry out real quick. Like they're fine, you know. And then anyway, all of my mates have started buying them. I'm like, oh.
Seven years ago, my wife, I was wearing them. I saw them hunting, fishing, and I was like, oh, yeah, her dad had a pair, but he had the imitation pair. And I thought, they're really comfortable. And so I bought some at hunting and fishing 7 years ago. And my wife was like, you are not. I was like walking out, and she was like, where are you going? I was like, out. She's like, you're not going out wearing those. And I'm like, yeah. She's like, you're not going out. It's the car who wears camo Crocs. I'm not allowing it. You're not going with me. Absolutely not. I wouldn't.
That's so tough.
It's on them now too.
Yeah, mine are quite bright green, so they sort of wouldn't really go with my wet clothes. But I mean, all the time is weekend, they're fantastic.
Yeah, so one of my mates who I text quite a lot of shit, like, oh, look at you, you know, your Crocs, give them a bit of abuse. And then one of my other mates started wearing. Then my son comes back from Aussie, he's got all these gibbets on, and I sent him a photo, he's like, just surrender. I can't buy them for myself, but you know, if they were a gift and they showed up, well, you know, it'd be rude not to wear them. But
I
he's
really
like,
like the blue ones.
he goes, Dan, what's your address? I was like, no. I was like, no, I don't want it. No, I'm going to fly.
What size?
If I get to that point, they're like, I could take it.
Crocs could be our first sponsor. I would actually personally really, really like the biggest sponsor. I love them so much.
Yeah.
Oh, they are. They're really
We could sit here with Crocs and hairnets on and look real cool. Oh, sorry,
Yeah, I was just about to say.
We're around your mouth.
Yeah.
Is that so I don't say my jokes? Ruthless. Well, let's get back to you.
So, what do you want to know?
Well, what's some things that get you really excited?
Like I said, I love family time, but from a work perspective, both me and myself, we love the whole helping with client thing.
Yeah.
You know, that's you know, people are good at certain things. So, like truck drivers, fantastic at driving trucks, delivering stuff, and the last thing they should be worrying about is all the office shit.
Yeah.
That's where we can come in.
Yeah.
You know, we had, we've got clients all over the place, to be fair, but we had a client that when we first took them on, they were like, we just don't really seem to be making a headway. You know, they increased their revenue a bit and stuff like that. So we did a bit of analysis and we sort of worked out, and I said to them, I said, have you ever factored in your, what they call sunk costs, so your fixed costs, into your billing? And they're like, what do you mean? I said, well, you've got your rent, you've got your insurance, you've got your power, you know, you've got your admin staff wages, all that sort of stuff. are you factoring that into your hourly rate? And obviously they're a manufacturing company, so we said to them you'd be using the hours that you work. And they're like, no, I've got no idea. So I said, well, I do exercise for you. So we went through, worked out what their fixed costs were, worked out something like 72,000 a year for all their fixed costs. So if they shut the doors today, that's what would still cost them to keep. They'd still have to pay that, you know, even if they had no revenue coming in, they'd still have that. So it's not factoring materials and all that sort of stuff. So we worked it out, it was about 72 grand, and then I worked it out over the hours for all their staff, and they needed to raise their hourly rate by like $2 or something like that. It was minuscule, it wasn't anything too much. So I said that to them, they go, okay, cool. And they implemented it. So that was just like a standard 40-hour week, but most of their staff were working, I don't know, probably 50 to 60 hours a week with overtime and stuff, with stuff they had to do. So in the first year that we did that little exercise for them, their bottom line increased by about 78 grand.
Yeah.
And then no gobsmacked.
Yeah.
But they never
difference.
thought about incorporating their sunk costs into their billing. So if they're billing to pay their sunk costs, then it's all gravy on top. And I've just gone from street to street to street. So that was a cool thing for us to do. It wasn't a big effort on our part. It was just some, you know, basic calculations and stuff. And we'd say, right, this is what you need to do. The decision's yours if you do it. But they did it, and you know, just like that, there's about 78 grand on the bottom line.
Yeah. I had this conversation with one of my potential clients for Profitable Pathways the other day, and they said, you know, yeah, say between 5 and 10 trucks, and the conversation was, well, my rate's here. I'm going for a rate renewal, but you know, I'm still servicing my own trucks. I was like, well, you're at that size, you need to be now a manager. So you need to have an admin person that can be Profitable Pathways, so it's cheaper too, and would hold your hand. But you need to take yourself out of the business, so you need to pay yourself plus the additional driver. You shouldn't be servicing your own trucks, or if you are servicing your own trucks, you've got to be picking up that win. But it should still be at market rate. So if someone charges $2,000 for a B service and you can do it for $1,500, cool. But you need to be factoring in that it costs $2,000. You know, what if you fall sick, what if you can't do it, and all those things. And I think that's where the industry goes so wrong all the time. So they look at themselves as, okay, what does it cost from this truck to get from point A to point B, and forget all those other costs, health and safety, admin people, all the rest of it come into it.
Yeah, and that's why it's up real quick.
Yeah. And when you start looking at that now, all of a sudden the business started performing a lot better. Yeah.
And so I mean, by doing just that simple exercise for that one client, it makes a difference, you know, and that's the sort of thing we enjoy that. We enjoy seeing our clients prosper, and I mean, people might think, oh, you're just a glory person, but I'm not. It's I actually get, and my wife's the same, we get a kick out of seeing our clients thrive, because you're in business to succeed, you're not in business to survive. You're in business to succeed and, you know, better your life for you and your family. So if we can play a small part in that,
it's a huge win.
It's a huge win, you know, for me, but for us, because it means we're doing stuff right. Hey, you're going to have clients that no matter what they do, it's just not going to work. For various reasons.
You're never going to please everybody.
No, you're not.
You've got to be okay with that too.
And we've had clients that have come and gone, and we had a client that went, and then they came back and went, what the fuck did that? You know? And the other thing with us mates. So that's a big thing that I get a kick out. And I suppose if you look at my history with the army, I wasn't really, well, I suppose technically I could have serviced the country, but having Clark robbed me of getting to Bosnia. Unfortunately, I was going to go to the last rotation when they pulled the pin on that, so I couldn't get out of these. That pissed me off, but that's right. But I mean, you know, fire service, police, IRD, government services is helping the country. I've been an active member of the current Land Search and Rescue for 6, maybe coming up 7 years now. So I used to be a field member, and then I got the basic tongue cancer. I can't go in the field anymore, but now I've moved into the search operations, the management side of the search. So I'll be up at the police station, or I'll be out at a forward operating base, so we're doing the planning, and there's a team of us that do all the planning and stuff like that. And we were the step. We had the Landsar, New Zealand Landsar support officer get in touch with us the other day, so that we were the busiest group in the country for the last financial year.
And that's a team of how many?
So there's, at the moment, I think we've got about 28 or 30 members at the moment, and then there's the police search and rescue team, the full-time police staff. But if anyone listening wants to help the community out, and might not be in Tauranga, might be anywhere in the country, it's very rewarding. Can be very time consuming, time away from your family.
Do you need to have the experience and history in it?
That helps if you've got bush skills, because obviously you need to be able to navigate, survive in the bush and stuff like that. But there's the management roles as well. Most of the incident management team are ex-field team members, so you understand the theories, the concepts and stuff like that on how we search and lost person behaviour and stuff. But we do have a management side, and we're really short of management people here in Tauranga, so that's computer operators and people that do data entry. We struggle to get that. They're field team members. Sometimes we have heaps of interest, other times we have not much. But I enjoy it. It's great. It's it does take me away from the family, but again, I sort of look at it that if it was one of my kids lost, somebody else has got to give up family time to go and find them, and we have a lot of success, and the guys that I work with are a really good bunch of people,
Well, you think if you weren't there and they weren't found, what a different story that could be. And I'm sure you would have gone to, I know you'd prefer to find somebody alive than not with us,
Oh, that's right. The goal is to find them and rescue them. It doesn't always work out that way.
But at least you're providing comfort for the families.
Yeah, and it's good. And again, people like, you're like all that sort of, it's not about that aspect. It's, I suppose, just doing what's right, but I enjoy it.
Yeah.
That's something that I get a feel-good thing out of, I suppose.
Yeah.
Well,
it'd be filling your cup too, and it's purely focused and fixated on certain tasks, which I think is really important, especially when you've got a role that you do, what you do.
Yeah. So I mean, I get it. That's the sort of stuff that sort of gives me a kick. What other sort of stuff do I do?
You don't have much time for much.
No, I don't really have much time with work.
From just your experience, you got lots of juggling a few different roles, but juggling them well from the sound of it.
Yeah. So. Yeah, it's I definitely don't have a boring life.
Yeah. Life is what you make it.
Yeah, it is. And I suppose the wake-up call for me and for my wife was when I got diagnosed with basic lung cancer back in 2017.
Yeah.
And then 2018.
You bought the business.
Yeah, and then 2018 as well, went through the treatment, and that was a massive wake-up for us.
So how did you first experience that, or what did you realise came something's up here?
I was on my birthday in November, I had a sore throat. I'm like, oh shit, got maybe tonsillitis or something. It was got tonsils and stuff, and like feel around the old neck, and I could feel it, my glands. I'm like, oh shit. Went to the doctor, and he has a feel around and looks in the throat. I did have tonsillitis. He goes, you got tonsillitis. I was like, hey, sweet. Had a pile of antibiotics. Sore throat goes. I'm looking at the mirror going, that ain't not right. There's still this big bloody lump under there. So went back and the doctor looked at it and goes, it could be your lymph node just reacting because of the infection, blah, blah. So put me on this bloody massive horse tablet. Can't remember what it was, but they were huge and like a 14-day dose of them.
I've met them.
That's a joke.
I'm going to start calling
And so I was popping my nose, and then oh, it must have been about a week in, and I got bigger. And I'm like, yeah, no, that definitely ain't right. So we went back to him, and he looked at it and goes, okay, we need to get a scan of it. And he goes, but the scan that we need to get is not public funded, so are you all right to pay for it? I'm like, well, how much is it worth? And I can't remember what it was. And I said, well, I'd go and spend $1,000 getting the brakes done on the car and not thinking about it so long, and I go and spend to find out if I'm all good, you know. It was just like, it is what it is, and I'll pay what it is. So shot down here to the medic's place down on River Path, and they had to do a ultrasound and really cool it, aspirated it, take the fluid out. So they drained it in the fluid, and it was mint. I was like, it's all wrong, really good. And this was just before Christmas all happened. So got a phone call from the doctor, and they're like, oh yeah, the fluid's all good, there's nothing wrong with it. It looks like it's just an infection. We're just waiting for one more test result to come back. And I'm like, oh yeah, all good. So Christmas, we sat between Christmas and New Year's, and I was at home with my wife and Ella, my daughter, and we were sitting on the phone with. And I'm like, answer it. Then it's my doctor, oh, Carol, it's such and such. I said, oh yeah, thinking, let's ring up and results. Yeah, Charge, you can come in, we can have a discussion about treatment going forward. I'm like, cool. I hope the phone was with me, and we've been at the doctor, we never told my daughter what was going on. So we're in the car, and straight away, it's not good news. Not great. So we get there, and the doctor comes out, she goes, I'm so glad you tell me over the phone what it is. I said, well, we get a phone call from the doctor in between Christmas and New Year's going, we need to discuss your treatment going forward. You're not ringing me up to tell me I'm healthy. You know, so that was right.
Sometimes it's nice to be kind of like have that kind of point of view as well, you know.
Oh yeah.
I've got the same approach. All news is good news because you can make a proactive decision about it.
Correct.
Rather than kind of going, oh.
And pancaking it. So she basically said, she said, look, they did some test on some of the tissue, and what they call it asymptomatic malignancy, something like that. Yeah. And I'm like, what's that mean? She goes, it's cancerous. And I'm like, cool. So straight away you sort of go, oh shit, I'm only, I was 47 or whatever I was, may not make 50, this isn't good. So that was a bit of a shock for Megs and myself. And then she goes, next step forward, we'll send you to the hospital and get some tests done. I'm thinking, public health systems, so it'll take ages. But to all credit, the old Bay of Plenty Health, unfortunately we don't have anymore, they were awesome. So within 2 weeks, I was into the hospital for the CT scan. And then they also did another, because this thing had gone like a bloody balloon again. Afterwards, I looked like I had a second bloody, like whole bloody, one of the horror films. So they aspirated it again, and they said they'd get back to us with the results. Got a phone call from my ENT specialist to say, the fluid's come back good again, so that's a positive sign. I'm thinking, okay, cool, maybe it's just an infection or something like that. And she said, we'll get back to you. And then in the interim, I'm trying to think what happened in the interim. So that was the phone call. Then we got another phone call, went in for a meeting with her. And they said there was 2 specialists there. The other ENT specialist had operated on my daughter with the bullets and stuff when she was younger. I'm like, yeah, this ain't good. And then there's this nurse lady walks in and sits down beside me, and I'm like, oh, this definitely ain't good. And then they said, you've got cancer. We're pretty sure it's just in the head area. So as soon as they say that, you think, brain toast. Yeah, that's pretty much the first thing. And then the Peter Shield, if I've got one of my Peter, if you listen, he basically came around and goes, it's the HPV P16, and I'm sitting there going, what the fuck's all this shit, man? And I knew what HPV was. Yeah. And Megan, we looked at each other and we're like, what's the P16? And he turns around and goes, you've been going too much of it. And I'm like, Oh. So that was a bit of a laugh. We all had a bit of a bloody laugh about that. And so anyway, they sort of told me what it was. And so they said the next step is, because you've got your tonsils, we think it's in your tonsils. We're going to take your tonsils, we'll take that lymph node out. And they said, we'll put you on the waiting list. So again, I'm thinking, this is a 6-month thing. And he said to Dr. Durrani, my other ENT specialist, what's the list like? And I'm thinking, fucking huge. Well, she goes, how's next Wednesday? So within 7 days, I was in, tonsils out. This thing was the size of a 7 egg, and they took the lymph node out. Tonsils out, holy crap, I've been in some pain in my life, and that was next level, although that wasn't anything like what was to come, unbeknown. So that was cool. Had that done. They sent all that away for testing. It must have been a couple of weeks later. Excuse me, my mouth's going dry. A couple of weeks later, got another phone call, and she was like, we need to come back in. So we went back in. They said my tonsils were clear, which was good. The lymph node had traces of this P16 enzyme, whatever they call it, which is caused through the HPV virus, which causes cervical cancer. And they wanted to take, you've got 2 sets of tonsils, which I didn't realise you had. You've got lingual tonsils right at the base of your tongue. Apparently they were little balls on either side of your tongue. I didn't even think about that. And Peter Sherwood, he goes, normally we'd send you to Auckland to get them. He goes, I reckon I can get them. He said, we'll just open your mouth up and we'll go down and get them. Like, do whatever. So they used like a melon ball and took all these samples from the mouth, and they grabbed these other tonsils. And sure enough, sent it away, screaming hard out. But when they looked at it, they couldn't actually see a tumour. So it was really early, and he gave me that assurance early on that if they catch it early enough, it's fully treatable, and the success rate's pretty good. So
it's good that you're persistent.
Yeah.
That's the catch.
And me and I, from the get-go, it was just we had that attitude of like, well, it is what it is. You know, I could either give up, and I've seen people that give up, they're gone in months.
Yeah.
And I wasn't having that.
Yeah.
So
especially if you're background.
Yeah, that's right.
You actually build like that brain fortuity, you know?
Yeah. I had a lot of life, and I've still got a lot of life to do, so I wasn't going to just pack up and go, well, it is what it is, I'm done.
I guarantee you probably still feel pretty young.
Yeah, I don't feel like I feel like
I've always looked at a certain age and I say, I'm sure I feel old then, and I'm at the age where I thought I was old, and I still feel young, like I'm 18.
Yeah.
So, you know.
I think it's mindset, hey?
Yeah.
I like
it really is.
I mean, I do have injuries that you sit there and go, oh, God, they get old sucks and stuff like that. But, you know, it's just that mindset.
I think these are niggles, and what I always look back at is like, shit, I was just a boy. You know, when I was 20, I thought I was a man now, or then when I was 30, I thought I was a man. Now I'm 39, and I know I'm a boy. I think I've got some experience, but I sort of the whole life, you know.
And you still do dumb shit. I do some stupid stuff every day.
Jesus.
Maybe we're like, why are we doing this? Yeah. We mean, we don't move, you know, we're slow down as well.
We still got a far along the way.
Well, that's exactly it. So long and short of it, basically, went through all that stuff. 6 weeks of radiation treatment every day, bar they gave you Saturday, Sunday off, and several weeks of chemo. Really hard. So what they tell you and what actually happens is
two very different things.
Yeah, it is. And
try not to freak you out too much, but
I like knowing what I've got. So when we first went in, they wanted to put a peg in, and I'd spoken to a friend of ours that his wife had a similar thing to me, and she managed to eat the whole way through. But the difference between her and me is they were radiating my both sides, because they were worried that the cancer may have metastasized over to the other side. she didn't have that. They just took the one side of her. So she managed to eat, and they never quite told us the full extent of what I go through. So
the first is different for every person.
Yeah. So for the first, oh my God, if Megan said she'd know, because she's not looking after me better. For the first couple of weeks, I was fine. I could sort of eat, and then it got to the point where I just couldn't swallow. Yeah, it was just done. I couldn't eat. And within 7 days, I lost like 12 kilos. So when I went from one chemo to the next, I go to my oncologist, looked at me and goes, what the fuck? You know, weighed me, and there's 12 kilos had disappeared. I was 35 over the whole treatment. And he said to me, he goes, can't get anything down. So I wasn't drinking, really, I was dehydrated. So having the chemo, then they raced me. I was in hospital for about a week. Then they had a big shit fight over putting a peg in. My oncologist said he needs it. And then whoever, I don't know what they called the guys that do that, he goes, oh, but we offered one, he didn't want it. So they, yeah, that was pretty much the argument. So they whipped a nasal tube in and were feeding me through that for a while, and then in the end, I suppose they stood on the deck and saw who could pee further, and my oncologist wanted I got the pee.
Yeah. Did you actually not want it though?
At first I didn't want it because I thought I'd be good, but at that point, because I was in hospital. Yeah.
I don't know what you don't know yet.
But at that point, I was pretty much oblivious to what was going on. Megan was pretty much making the calls for me because, I was pretty much Goldberger, really. So yeah, I was on that probably 6 months. They just hooked you up to a machine and speeds that horrible baby. You've probably seen it. That horrible yellow paste that just gets fed into over a 12-hour period.
Yeah, and our son, we had to feed our son for 3 months with that, and when we got completely, we were in like this little bit of this whole tornado of a situation, and we didn't actually sit down and actually realise, like after it was maybe about 6 months down the track, when he was actually able to have things down the throat, and we actually finally looked at the nutritional label, and we're like, whoa. Disgusting.
What's that?
Sugar. Just sugar.
So it's just glucose.
Just glucose, and it's meant to be. It's hideous. It's purely just to keep you alive. Yeah. But it's shockingly bad when we're getting shocking behavioural spikes.
Yeah.
Like just it is if you'd be like the behaviour you'd expect from somebody coming down from drugs. And that was the easiest way to describe it.
Yeah, it's horrible stuff. I can't drink up and goes or anything like that anymore because for months Megan was in between that stupid bag was giving me those 4 to 6 or whatever they call them. I was looking at them and I'm like, it's put me right off. But yes, I had that so I went through all that treatment and stuff. And I wish I knew, to be fair. That's
the pain would have been absolutely.
Yeah, it was. I was poor Megan, so I take my hat off to her. I'd have been so screwed without her. So she had Ella. Would have been, what would Ella have been? She'd been 16 probably at the time. We had the 3 businesses we were running. We had 2 dogs. I was an idiot, decided to get a puppy at the stage when I was going through the treatment. So she had to look after a puppy, another dog, and me. So she was coming home every 2 hours just to make sure my food pump was going, give me all the different drugs, and she was a rock star. Seriously, would have been absolutely.
Women are pretty phenomenal.
Oh,
they can do.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, I'm the same thing as your wife. Like my wife, with regards to going through that same sort of situation, it would have been just the same sort of.
Keep it going,
and she was just organised. Like she had a list of, so she didn't forget what she was giving me, and because obviously if she cocked that up, I could have been expiring with an oxy overdose or something like that. So hang on. I slow release fentanyl patches, oxy. Oh Christ, I was like a bloody walking chemist, that she just had to squeeze through my bloody peg to to give me. So, it was a very brutal time. I came out of it, got my final clearance, I think it was November 18.
Yeah.
And to date, I've been clear. The ENT specialist said if you're going to get it normally, statistically, you would get it again within 18 months. So I'm rocking on nearly 5 years.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Have you made some lifestyle changes since?
Well, it cooked my taste buds, so I struggled to taste. So I used to be a big sweet fan. Like I'd go out and rather eat a dessert than I made, and I used to drink with wine like I was going out fishing, but I can't taste it. I'm going to taste the whiskey now, obviously.
Can you taste that?
Oh yeah, I can taste that. My taste, to be fair, is coming back. I'm getting better with it, but the dry mouth is one reason I can't get out and feel anymore sexually because I can't carry enough fluid. Like I'll bowl through a litre. If I'm walking in the bush, I'll go through a litre of water in 2 minutes.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so if you're out on a 12-hour search, I'm just a liability, so that's why I pulled it on that.
So you're sweating it out, or?
Oh, sweating it out. Otherwise,
keep going.
I just end up coughing.
Are you a mouth breather or a nose breather?
Probably a nose breather for a lot, but everything from here down is dry as a bone.
Yeah.
So I had to learn to swallow again and all that sort of stuff. So it's been an interesting time, but I have the changes I suppose I've made. I sit now around about 90 kilos.
Yeah.
Whereas before the cancer I was up to about 118, and at my lowest I think it went in about maybe 80 or 70. I can't remember. What the lowest I got to. I had thigh gap anyway. My daughter was like, "Oh, that's disgusting. You got a bigger thigh gap than most people." I'm like, "Cool. I don't really want that on my anyway." Here's my dance. It's not thigh gap.
That was back in 20 years of ball gone.
That's right. That was the other thing I was worried about. What's in the nose? They aim the radiation gun at some of the little areas.
That was the thing back in the day, thigh gap.
Oh,
Fitness camp.
Yeah, funny as bloody hell.
I'll work out.
But yes, that taught me a lot of, I suppose, I wouldn't say life lessons, but I think everything that I've
What's important?
Yeah, I definitely changed that, and I think the thing that all my experience right through from when I first joined the army up to that point gave me that strength to be able to deal with it. I've known other people who have had issues like that and maybe they didn't have that mental resilience to be able to deal with it, but having a strong woman on the side definitely makes a big difference.
Yeah, we've all got strong women.
Yeah.
That's why we're sitting here tonight. Without the right woman beside you. If
everyone, my family, my good mates and everything said if I didn't have their own thing, I'd been stuffed. So.
Yeah. I can definitely vouch as well.
Yeah.
So highly important. It's what you kind of experience is actually very similar to what my son kind of had to go through, but just he was 2 and couldn't voice it. And it's absolutely phenomenal now that he's 4.5. He's able to kind of start to communicate. He remembers everything what was happening, and I remember certain things, and I remember the doctors when they were saying, he's a battler. So he was meant to be in intensive care for about 4 days. He was in there for 12. It was like the case of he got to the point where you asked him if he wanted any more pain. He had to, and he was like, no, because they obviously made him feel so unwell that he remembers Daddy was not there because I wasn't allowed to be there for this period of COVID. Plus, I was trying to keep the business open too, so I was running back and forth.
Yeah.
And it was crazy, but I can fully resonate with what you're experiencing. It's incredibly tough for you. You've gone through.
Yeah. But it's definitely character building, that's for sure. And
Do you still talk about it with your wife? And
Yeah, we talk about it all the time. You know.
Does she use it against you? Like, hey, remember all that time? Take that rubbish back out in front.
And then you can go HTV. I'm going to reverse that.
I pull the cancer out all the time. I'm sitting here, I'm a cancer survivor. And then she'll be like, you can't keep using that. And he goes, I think it's a card that keeps giving. So I'm looking for it.
I wish I had a card that never ran out.
Oh, no, you definitely know what I think, mate. I'll tell you.
No, not that one.
But yeah, I mean, I would like, because there's no support groups or anything like that for, you know, there's all the prostate stuff and bits and things like that, but there's nothing for, like the basic, the throat cancer stuff, because the treatment's all pretty much the same. I've even approached the Cancer Society and said, look, if you've got people that go through this, I'm more than happy to come and sit with them and say, this is the stuff that potentially you're going to have to go through. And these are decisions I made, which I now regret. If I look back on it, I probably should have got that peg from the get-go.
I think it's kind of good to know, like one thing as well, I think with modern day, people don't want to stress people out before situations, but my wife, I didn't understand the severity of what was happening until it happened, and I, in fairness, didn't tell her as well.
Yeah.
The only reason why I knew, because I've done dissections on cadavers and I did a full anatomy degree, and the areas and what was needing to be performed, and he was the 31st case in the world. I knew it was bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when you've got 20 doctors in the room operating on him or being there and observing it, because you'll never see a case like that, you know. But sometimes it's good, like in your case, in situations, it's better to have a peg there than it isn't, in case this happens, and explain it properly. And I think it's really important to have the explanation there for people in the same way with you both and profitable pathways and explanation, and this is how you can do it. But if you don't know, you don't know.
That's 100%. Yeah, if you don't know, you're just going to have to learn through trial and error, you know. But yeah, that would be, if I could go back through, well, I don't want to go back through that experience, but
if you had to talk someone else through it.
If someone else that had been through it said to me, dude, there's a 95% chance that you're not going to be able to take anything orally. I couldn't, my whole throat was just, I could breathe, and that was it. I couldn't swallow. I mean, when I first went to the hospital, they were like, right, we need to try and get you off this peg. And they put a 5 ml syringe of water in my mouth, and they said, can you swallow? It came out my nostrils that fast. It was like a bloody water blast, you know. And I was like, whoa, what's going on here? And they said, you've just got to get that epiglottis used to going backwards and forwards, and the throat used to swallow, you know. That was an interesting. I've had a couple of periods where I might have a bit carried away, a bit of steak and really choked me and sitting there thinking, looking for a chair back to go, right, if I can't get this out, I'm going to have to launch myself up that bloody chair back.
It's contracted as well, because it's got scar tissue and everything.
Yeah, well, my epiglottis, if you look at the x-rays, it's huge now. And they said it's just from being baked.
Yeah,
you know?
The epiglottis for the rest of us.
It's the little flappy bit that goes between your esophagus and your windpipe. To stop the food disappearing down your
throat. Doctors everywhere.
I did not run the system and say,
a flappy thing.
It's a little flappy thing.
The flappy thing's the better thing to be just using.
Yeah.
Because if you use too technical terms.
Yeah, the flappy thing.
ChatGPT spelling.
I was going to make a really inappropriate joke.
But yeah, so I mean, I would, when I approached the cancer side, I thought that they had a need for that, but they just seemed to not. But
there would be a need there, and it would be highly beneficial for some person.
It's trying to get it out
just getting to the point, because sometimes they're so desperately underfunded that they don't even have any support groups in there. I know, like, say for example, mental health in the Bay, they don't recognise mental health issues within their team and staff. So
of course.
it's just, they're so undefined.
So far out, not in.
Yeah.
So if anyone is listening to this that's going through a similar thing and thinks that maybe speaking to Karl or some funding's available, like we do this for charity and stuff, DM us, you know how to find us if you're listening to us.
Yeah, I'd be more than happy if someone's going through it, or even if you've got family members that's, it's not an easy thing to go through if you've got someone can sort of tell you a few things from what they've gone through.
Yeah,
It
might not be anywhere near as bad as what you experienced, but it's nice to know.
or forewarned is forearmed, or whatever they're saying is.
Failing, prepare and fail.
Yeah. So that was an interesting sort of chapter in my life, but I think that would stay in the past.
Because they test you pretty heavily for 5 years with most cancers, don't they? So they keep testing you annually.
Well, yeah, they were up until, again, you don't want to bring politics into it, but until Te Whatiora arrived and they got rid of the Bay Community Health and they haven't had contact from anyone yet.
No.
So,
yeah, one thing is it's much easier to stay in the system than it is to try and get back into it. So
I'm going to actually reach out and touch base and say, hey, what's going on? Because I should still, I think I should still have another 2 checkups. But
we had one period where operation was randomly missed and we were waiting for the call. We were told it was like clockwork, the operations. There is a period of time, then all of a sudden we just missed one and we were waiting. We scheduled out work on this particular day. We were told 2 weeks, this will be happening. Didn't happen. Must be next week. Must be next week. So, but it's just one of those things. But it's easily done.
Yeah.
Is what I'm thinking.
So you get lost.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
So we've got a question that we often ask, okay? And you've provided and you've had quite an expensive and extensive life, okay?
Yeah.
So lots of growth periods, obviously, from what we can see. But is there any advice you'd give your younger self looking back? And it doesn't have to be your young self, but at any point in time, if you got a period of information that would have been really beneficial to your growth at that stage, what would it have been?
What would I do with stuff? I suppose it doesn't go back to being too young, but if I could look back now, obviously being a government employee or being, in full-time paid work, in a secure job, I did always used to sit there and think, it'd be quite cool to go out and work for myself. But I think back then, it was like, my regular paycheck coming in, I don't have to deal with that, And I think maybe I hesitated and just thought, no, because it's a big risk to give up the security to go out on your own comfort. But when Megan and I decided to leave IRD and go out on our own, that was really refreshing and rewarding. Mm-hmm. So I think if I could go back to when we first started talking about it, the advice would be, man up. There's no shame in trying something if it doesn't work, but you're always going to live with the regret of not doing it.
Yeah.
And I think, although we've done it, and I don't regret it, and it was the best move, and we both say we need to go back to work for someone again, I think it could have potentially been a bit earlier.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. I think
it's that stepping off that edge because it's the unknown. It's like, what if it doesn't work? Mm-hmm. What if we don't get clients? What if no one likes what we're doing? But we know that that's not the case because I'd say just about all of our clients, I've got 2 follow-up calls I need to make today, just referrals from other clients. So we're obviously doing it right. Mm. Yeah. So I think the advice would be, don't hesitate. If it's what you want to do and it's what you're passionate about, make the move to do it, because you never want to live with that regret of going, I could have stayed working for the government until I was in retirement, and then I'd be sitting back going,
Nothing hurts more than regret.
Yeah, I'd be sitting there going, I've only actually done that.
All you're looking at is fear, which is false evidence appearing real, right? So you're looking at something going, you're telling yourself something, but it's not actually the case, whether you believe you can and you believe you can't.
Yeah.
You're right. And you're an accountant, so you're good at numbers. For the other people that aren't, just get the advice, ask the right people.
Yeah.
If it's transport, talk to myself or Karl or someone else like-minded in the area. If it's, you want to be a chiropractor, ask Gabs. There'll be people in the industry that you can speak to, and they'll be more than happy to tell you.
And everybody actually wants to help. And other people reach out to chiropractors, and I've been super keen to help with that.
I think the key to it as well is we've had a lot of people that have come for advice, but they've spoken to Bob over the back fence, who is a bush lawyer, a bush accountant, a bush HR person. Don't take the advice of someone that isn't in the know.
Yeah. You should never take advice from anyone who hasn't done what they're trying to give you advice on.
Yeah, that's exactly it, because so many people that I've spoken to over the last few years since we've been in business, you'd be like, well, why did you structure it that way? Oh, because Bob over the back fence, his brothers are, nephews, cousins, aunties, the very accountant, she told him to do that. It's just a complete mucker.
Yeah. One of the advice that we got from the start to structure our business, and I said, no way I could tell you now, the business would have failed. It would have created a huge issue, because it was a structure where one person was doing the work and the other person was always getting it right. So it was either or.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's not a partnership. That's unequal. So you want to get multiple forms of advice or research and think outside of the box. It might not be the done way, but always get advice.
Yeah. And you got to make sure that there's people that are really good strategists that can come up and go, well, if we do it this way, we do it that way, we can do this and this, and that's cool, but you still need to make sure that you're not going to fall foul of the tax laws, you're not going to fall foul of company law, or Fair Trading Act rules and all that sort of stuff. There's so much stuff in business, and we've had people that I've got this great idea, and I've already incorporated a company, I've already done this, I've got this, and you're like, oh, why'd you do that? Because the particular idea you've got would be better if it was in a joint venture with this other person or something like that. There's so many different ways of structuring stuff. So if you go over anything really is seeking professional advice, and if it costs you some money, it costs you some money, because you're not going to go and speak to a dentist about getting your car fixed. Well, one thing, speak to the professionals that know what they're talking about in that particular field is the advice I could give you for business people.
Yeah, my biggest regret was I'm not earning enough money to get an accountant. And I was like, well, this was at the very start.
Yeah.
I should have been like, okay, research straight away. That's one big lesson that I tell all young chiropractors: get a good accountant. Simple. Because you think, it's all about leasing. People don't know need to get busy before I do that.
Yeah. I heard it well before I was in finance or anything. It was always pay the people that handle your money well. And that's not to pay them well if they're doing a shit job. It's to go and pay the right money for the right people.
Yeah.
If someone is charging you more money, unless they're a complete con artist, but maybe check some Google reviews or something similar, which hand up, I don't actually track. If you want to give me a Google review, please do.
5-star and above.
For all platforms. And also, please give us a review on Spotify, because then will help us grow and get more listeners. Pay those people that handle your money well, because they will save you money.
Yeah.
It's far cheaper for me to pay an accountant $2,000, $4,000, $10,000 a year than it might be to pay an extra $50,000 in tax. any of that sort of advisory type stuff. Find the right people, pay them what they're worth.
And I think we're sort of approaching it from with the profitable pathways, and it's with any business. Is if you're in the trucking business, you're good at driving the truck, getting the loads, and doing that sort of money. You're not an accountant. You're not an HR person. You're not a finance broker to try and get the best deal. Use the people that, you put every working hour you can, because you're limited with what you can work, into driving that truck.
And cleaning on the weekend.
Yeah, that's right. But then let someone else that's an expert in their field do the other graft. You wouldn't want to get a debt built and pay an accountant to do it. Because it's not going to work. I mean, I built my own decks, that's right. I wouldn't build someone else's deck because it falls down. If my deck falls down, that's my issue. But I mean, and I think time and time again you get people like the same gigs as, I can't really afford it, I'll do my own bookkeeping, I'll do my own accounting. I'll Google I want to get a staff member, I'll Google a work contract, but then you miss out the important holiday clauses that all the other little idiosyncrasies that we've got with employment law, and then you decide that person's a muppet, try to get rid of them, and then all of a sudden got a PG and a HR drama, which is going to cost you $20,000 to fix. So.
We were very fortunate as well with that. When we employed a company, we were going through a few different team members trying to find the right team, and we dodged some bullets because they wouldn't even sign the casual contract, and because it protected us a little bit more than what they were able to take advantage of.
Yeah.
And it wasn't actually unfair. It was only unfair if you were planning to take the employer for a ride. And some people, unfortunately,
make it easy out of it.
Want to.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that this one particular person got told after we had hired them, but they hadn't really fully signed something.
Yeah.
And luckily, apparently they'd done that previously. I was like, I would never have brought them on had I done that. So straight away we did that. Yeah. And then they wouldn't sign it, so it was tricky.
Yeah. No, definitely important, eh? I think that's one piece of advice that anyone listening to, and you're in business for yourself, get the right advice.
Yeah. And don't even just catch up with yourself or touch base with you or anybody that's in the local area. You always can get out and chat.
And I think the other thing is, and I'll say I'll have client meetings, and we've had some big customers go, what should I use you instead of BDO or something like that? I said, well, that's your choice. I said, if I'm a good fit, we get along, and think I'm going to do a good job, use me.
But interview 2 or 3 people.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Get the feel, and if you've got a rapport with someone, or you sort of, you get that feeling, you're like, not quite sure about that person or something like that, we'll move on and, speak to a few different accountants.
Yeah, no, it's like a desperate salesperson, right? So when someone's genuine, the gel, the energies are right, you can build a laugh and go, because it's a relationship.
Oh, it is 100%, yeah.
You join an accountant, you're starting a business, that accountant would like to be working with you 15 years later when you're exiting the business and going for that ride on that journey with you, so form that strong relationship.
And we say to all our clients, it's the same with the bookkeeping. It's like, we'll be involved as little or as much as you want us to be. If you want us to be heavily involved, we'll do that, but we're not going to sit and go, we think you should do this, we think you should do that, because it's your business. We'll offer the advice, but we're not going to be, we're not overbearing and saying, you should really let us do this for you, do this for you, do this for you. By the way, here's a massive bill. It's not how we roll. Because we want, like you said, we want to be your accountant in 10. David's got clients that when he first graduated uni, he's still got those clients, and he's got family names and stuff, so like he's the family accountant.
Generational accountant.
Yeah, he's in the second generation in other families and stuff because he's a lot of advice. So,
yeah.
That's amazing.
That's really cool. Is there anything that you want to cover off before we tie things up?
No, it's been good. God, how long have we been talking for?
Just over 2 hours.
We're getting onto that Joe Rogan. It's very easy. I have to say thank you very much for the easy, free flowing chat.
Oh, very good.
It's been really interesting learning about you and just your journey so far and your growth. So thank you very much for taking this time.
Oh, well, no, the podcast is good. I listen to you, I try to walk and stuff all the time. So
Yeah. No, we're supporting our listeners. So if you're a listener and you've got a great story, I'd love to have you on. But thanks for coming along, Karl. It's great to have you here to share your story and really looking forward to the business that we do together in the future.
I think it'll be a game changer, I think, yes.
Proactive, not reactive. That's what I say with people sell.
Yeah, that's the aim.
Yeah.
Ambulance at the top, not the bottom.
Yeah. Definitely.
All right, well, thank you. Is there any ways people should find you? Are you on LinkedIn, Facebook? Should Google Matt Lee Accounting?
Yeah, Google Matt Lee Accounting, taking care of business. I'm on LinkedIn.
Or Profit Brothers?
Yeah, but yeah, we're just based in Grey Street in town. So if you're cruising on by 45 Grey Street, hop in and say hello.
Literally a 2-minute walk from my office, and very close to each other, so our working relationship will go well.
Yeah.
I've got beer and gin, he's got whiskey.
Yes.
So how good.
Gin, whiskey, where's my invite?
Sorry, Gabriel, your eyes working.
I know what it says too.
Awesome. All right, thanks guys. All right,
Cheers.
Bye.